So let's have a look at the bucket now. So let's hide the forearm and look at the bucket. Just bring that into view. So I've got sketches on different planes in here. Let's have a look. So working backwards, we've got a fillet there, and then we've got the pocket. Which is part of that sketch. Just confusing because there's nothing for that to pocket. I'm wondering if that's, double click on that, dimension of 2mm, so it's going 2mm this way. It's not actually really doing anything, so that, yeah, so that's not actually doing anything, that one, so we can actually get rid of that, but it will kill this fillet here if I removed it. So let's just delete that. Yep. The fillet is quite small, or this one here, as you can see. So there's the fillet there. So we can reapply that, so that's not a problem. Let's get rid of the sketch, get rid of that fillet. We'll reapply that. Got chamfer, pocket, and that sketch there, so let's make that sketch visible. Just hide. So there's that, so that sits on the bottom. So that sits on the bottom of, it's moving up. Just show that sketch as well. So that's pocketing down through there. Go back to the fillet. So it's pocketing through that fillet. 3 fillets there. Another sketch there, which is a hole. So there's that sketch there, so let's hide the hole. So just made the fillet available there. Hide the sketch, so that hole, show the pad above it. So we've got pad, then in that pad, side of that pad, got a hole there, so you can see them there. Get rid of that pad. Now that pad originates from the pin bracket sketch. That chamfer was a bucket, part of the bucket, it's part of the thickness. So where's that chamfer? Chamfer in there? There's that chamfer. So there's that chamfer in there. Thickness, and that's part of the sketch. So that sketch creates the pad, which is there. That's good, okay. So what we need to do is move this bucket, go on the bucket, right click, transform. So we need to move this transform into one of these holes. Yeah, so this hole here, because the other one's connected to our piston. So okay, that, now we've got to attach those holes to this sketch, because what I want to do is move this sketch into place. So I want to attach this sketch to the point of origin, which is here. So we've got quite a way to go. I don't want to pull them all over because I want other sketches to come with them. So first of all, we're going to notice the holes are separate sketches, so we're going to actually attach the holes to this sketch. So So look at the holes. So what I'm going to do is hide the others, so I know I'm just dealing with those holes. Right, so in order, we actually create the sketch for the bucket first. So create this sketch first, and then the holes were then created. So what I'm going to do is attach the holes to the bucket. And that should be quite easy, because what we'll do is jump into the bucket pad. No, that comes first, so we've actually got to, can't do that because if I try to attach the holes to that bucket, then that wouldn't work because the holes come after the actual bucket. So double click on the holes, get rid of that pad, and attach this to the bucket. So let's import the side of the bucket. So create an edge linked to external geometry, and I'm going to grab this point here and this point here and do a length and a height constraint on that. Just let them go for the height constraint. So that should be locked in position, and I'm going to do the same with this one, but for the bottom of the bucket. So there and there, length, and select them again. So that was the height. So fix the vertical distance. Now we're going to fix the horizontal distance. They've gone green, so they're fully constrained. So that's that part done. Now I can actually forget about the holes now. Close that. Let's hide those holes. Let's have a look at the others. So we've got other constraints on here that I need to lock down. So we've got a pin bracket which sits on top of there. So I'm working my way down now. So the next one is pin bracket. So let's show the pad. So that sits on top of that pad and it sits on that plane, so that should be okay. Because if I look at the pad and the sketch, yeah, okay, that's good. So what we should be able to do is take that pin bracket and attach it to one of these sides. So we've got our pad showing, that's the only thing showing at the moment. All the rest have been made invisible because I've highlighted and shown the pad. So I can double click on the pin bracket sketch, and I'm going to import this line of the pad in. And what I'm going to do is take this point, this one here, get it? And I'm going to create a constraint against this point here. So that one's locked down now as well. So that's good. Close that. What else we've got a whole sketch which we know we've done. So we can get rid of our pin bracket. We don't need that visible anymore. Now we've got pocket sketch here. And that pockets through the fillet fillet 7 and fillet 6. If I work my way up, I can see I can attach, should be able to attach it just to the pad. So if we look at how this is built, the fillets, fillet 7, fillet 8, I will swept through with that pocket there. So if I go up to the pad, then I'll be able to actually connect that to something along there. So let's have a look. Looking at it, I think the best idea is actually connected to the pad because it's in line with that pad there. So let's do that. So I'm going to import this line here. So you can see that's actually imported. So you can see the purple line here. And we're going to just make a connection between that point, and if we zoom out and move up, just zoom in to where my mouse pointer is, see that point there as well. So we've connected those and insert a length in there, and what should happen is that we've made this now go green. So that's all restricted down. Let's close that. I think we are there. So I'm just going to have a quick look at all the sketches. So when we've got move, I'm just going to hit Control S to save. Yeah, so all our sketches are done except for this one, and I'm going to bring this in, and I know for a fact this is the bottom of the bucket, so I'm going to look at the pad, move up and import one of these lines. I'm going to import the edge of the bucket and then create a length constraint between those two. There we go, that's gone green. So that's all good. So that's all constrained down now. So we've got all constrained, fully constrained sketches everywhere. So let's go back to our bucket sketch. What I wanted to do is move this into position. So I've saved. There's 20mm height, which I don't want. I should be able to move this down into position. It's rotating a bit. Let's move that down close to that line, and what I'm going to do is attach that point onto that line. So that's the point of origin here, and the line coming out for that axis. I just want to attach that to there. I'm going to do the same with the other point here. Now I can slide this to the left. But I want to attach it to the actual holes that should have come with it. So let's make sure the holes have come with it. Where are we? Holes, they are there. So I can actually remove those constraints that I used just to move it over. So I'm just going to move that into position there. I'm looking, and I haven't got any problems so far. What I'm going to do is just highlight the chamfer and see what's happened. You can see stuff has moved. So I've got a few issues to sort out there. It's trouble when you start moving stuff on the other planes actually disappears. So while that's still connected to the bottom, what I'm going to do is have a look at the other sketches, whereabouts they are. So we can see that one's moved. in brackets all right, and our chamfer. Look, yeah, we've lost the bottom sketch somewhere. Must be hidden somewhere in this lot. Got a pocket, pad, chamfer. This one. Oh, that's interesting. It's actually inside. That's the reason why I couldn't find it. Looks like it's become detached from the face. So I'm going to reattach that sketch. So go to model and then look at the sketch for the pad. Which is there. Hide the pad. What we need to do, if I show the pad and double click on this sketch, bring it to position. It's the wrong sketch. I'll click on this sketch, let's bring it to position. There it is there. So what I need to do is map that to a face. Let's close that. It's got a sketch. At the moment it's sitting in there. We'll map it to there. It's got a flat face at the moment. Just click on that. So you can see it's not mapped. Let's go up and find the pad. We're going to map it to there, so I've shown the pad, and then sketch, click on the icon on the end, and we're going to select that one. So that's mapped it onto that position there. So that's nicely locked down onto there. Okay, that. And this one has probably come detached as well. So let's have a look at that one. So what was that? That was the top pocket there. Kind of mapping as that got. That's got flat face, and that's mapped face 2. Let's cancel that. Face is this. Double click the sketch in that pocket. We can see where we've imported that line. The sketch is seen to have flipped over. So what I'm going to do is go back. So come out of the sketcher first, click on the sketch. Flat face, and we're going to map that. Go up and look for something flat. So, got our fillets, take the fillet off, take this off, have a fillet off. Got the holes there, we've got the pad. So we use the pad there where we've been padded upwards. So I'm going to map that sketch to that pad. So pad face 20. Okay, that's mapped, but we still got to position it. So let's double click on there. And we've got this constraint at the top here. There we go, so that's there. Look at where that's going to cut through. Okay, so close that. And that's cut nicely down there, so that's all done and dusted, so that's good. Now what I'm hoping for is that if we jump back to our bucket sketch and we look down the screen, because we constrained it down here, so I could move it along that line. I'm just going to take those two constraints off. That's mobile now, and also I want to make sure my holes sketch is visible. Double click the hole sketch. Let's get rid of that pad. Yeah, that's good. I want to line up that hole with there, so we're going to have to do that from the pad itself of the actual bucket. So this is what sketch is. Make sure the hole is visible. Let's move this down. That's more or less there. What I'm going to do is come out of the sketch and see what's broken. So nothing has broken on that sketch, which is good. We're all still there. So look at the holes again. On sketch. Right, let's have a look. Because the constraints are, because I want to constrain against these holes, and because the holes are created after this pad, it's a bit awkward because this sketch existed before. The holes to constrain, I have to actually constrain the holes to the existing sketch, which is the bucket. The trouble is I want to use the holes as my pivot point. So it's quite awkward to get those in position. Move this up slightly. That's good. I can create a constraint on this edge here. Now that's locked in position. Okay. Save that. And move down our bottom to the chamfer. Let's see if we've broken anything. Well, it all looks good, so that's all connected up. So now we've got the digger arm, and what we'll have is our boom arm. Now forearm are all the points, that the joining points, and though that's not how this should be constructed, all the main pivot points are in the right place. So what I'm going to do now is save that, close, and I'm going to go into the A2Plus assembly, create new, save it, call this digger assembly, and we're going to import those parts in. Add a single shape out of external file to the assembly. I'm going to find that file, which is in downloads, date modified, CAD digger. So we've got a number of items in here. So I'm going to pull in the boom arm first, choose that, so the boom arm's in. to import the others. Forearm, choose that, and we can place that, if it's there. And what I should be able to do is right click, transform, which is right, so that's actually transforming along the right place there, and right click, transform on this one, which is correct there, so I can transform right place there. Makes life a lot easier. Add our last item in, which is the bucket. And place on the end there. Check the transformation, which is correct. So that's transformation is correct, I believe. Or is it? Should it be the other hole? I think I've picked the wrong hole. That'll do for now anyway. So that's correct. We'll go for that for the time being. Here's the other hole, isn't it? Damn it. Oh well. So now we need to link these together. So we'll move, first of all we'll move this away, transform this away, and we will pick, if I zoom in, we'll pick this circle around here. So okay on that transformation. Click this circle and move over using my arrow keys to move, using Alt to flip this around, just using page down and page up to zoom out. Now I can hit the control, select this one, so these two are selected, and I can use a circular edge constraint between the two parts like that. That's good. Set that, and then we'll do the same with this circle, and move that down, and I'll look at the bucket, and it's got to go inside here. Now our pivot point is, no, it's the wrong one, but we'll use it for the time being. Well, it could be the right one, I'm not quite sure. And we want this hole here. Hit control, those two are selected now, and we'll connect those up with a circular edge constraint. Can't see what's happened there, let's zoom out a bit. That's looking good. Set that, and now if I click on my move, I should be able to move the arm. And also if I want to change the angle of this one here, the bucket, I can actually come down and look at the placement, look at the angle, and change that angle on there. There we go. So that's changed, and I can do the same with this one here. Change the angle, but what we need to do is click on the Rubik's Cube to allow for any adjustments there. So that's good. So that's done. And we can just put some Python behind here to actually animate it if we so desire. And I think we'll leave that for another video. I'm leaning towards actually doing a widget based macro where you have this interface that pops up on screen, so you can change the different angles of the different parts, so a different angle for the boom arm, the digger, bucket, or the actual forearm, so we can actually move it on screen with sliders or buttons. So I think that's the way I'm leaning towards that, so I'll actually be putting that together and going through that in another video. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my site. And also I have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate a few pence or a few pounds, dollars, or whatever your currency is. And that's at ko-fi.com/mang0. And there you'll be able to help me fund my site, and all the money that I actually get from any funds will actually get pushed back into the channel. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing. I'll see you next time.